When we come to food, we come to know that Harappan people, Harappan people, they ate a wide range of food, both animals and plants. But fish was their main food. You may know the reason why fish was the main food, because the civilization itself was based on the banks of rivers. So the resource access was easy. That is why fish was their main food. Other than that, they used to eat wheat, barley, lentil, chickpea and sesame. Okay? Chickpea is chana and sesame is til. Okay? Now, other than that, they domesticated animals like sheep, goat, buffalo and pig, not only for the meat purpose, but they also domesticated them for milk and fur. Meat was the primary requirement, but other than that, these animals also fulfilled the purpose of milk and fur. Fur usually for the winter seasons and other purposes. Now we come to town planning. This is most important. When we talk about Indus Valley civilization, town planning of Indus Valley civilization was most talked about when we talk about all other civilizations. Okay, a civilization around 4,500 years ago and having such a beautiful town planning was remarkable in the history of India and also in the world. So now we'll come to know about the town planning of Indus Valley civilization. Okay, like a planned town, the streets and roads of the town were quite wide. Their breadth varied between 13 feet to 34 feet. All the roads intersected at right angles, and these roads were made in such a manner that dirt on them got clean naturally with the flow of air. People lived in house made of bricks. See, during that time, ages ago, we get to see the clear picture of the town planning of Indus Valley civilization. So well mannered, isn't it? Now next come buildings. The study of ruins indicates that buildings were constructed in a planned manner and were of two types. That is, first was the dwelling houses and public buildings. Dwelling houses was mostly occupied by the common people, and public buildings were kept for important purposes. Other buildings which were found were great bath, granaries and assembly hall. Okay. So, these also we can count in the public buildings only. Mohenjo-daro and Harappa were divided into two parts, upper town and the lower town. The upper town was built on a platform and was called citadel. We have already discussed this, isn't it? And six citadels have been found in Harappa. Alone in Harappa, 6 citadels have been found. Okay. Now, the people belonging to ruling class had their homes on citadel. I have already discussed this thing with you. And the lower town was occupied by perhaps the merchants and traders, and the slaves, the laborers, they used to occupy the area of huts. Okay. So these was their all about their buildings. Now we next come to the dwelling houses. That is the 7th point, that is dwelling houses. Now, the dwelling houses of common people. All the houses had a courtyard. The rooms were on all sides of the courtyard. Courtyard means angan. In Hindi we call it angan. Have you seen the havelis? The havelis had a similar view. When you compare these houses, the havelis usually you will find with or kothis and havelis of earlier times which till now exist, they are found in a similar manner. In middle, the courtyard will be there, and from all the 4 sides, the rooms will be connected to them. Okay. Each house had its own kitchen and bathroom. The drains were connected to the main street through a wall. We will also get to see the picture regarding this, how the drains were connected to the main street. Now, some houses also had a staircase to reach the second story. Means very few houses were second storied, but they had proper staircase to reach the second story. Okay, and 700 wells were only the sources of easy access of water which have been found in Mohenjo-daro. 700 wells. Okay, now we come to the last point of this page. Two more are there, three more are there in the next page, that is great granary, assembly hall and drainage system, but here we will end today we will end here only. Okay, the great bath. I have already attached the picture of great bath, the clear picture of great bath in your previous video. Yes, so this, like just like town planning, this is also most talked about feature of Indus Valley civilization, because this was the common pool, we can say, where people used to take the bath. It was a big rectangular tank, as you can see here. A big rectangular tank was there, and from all the four sides you can see staircases are there to get down to the pool. Now, when we talk about the dimensions, the width was 7.01 meters and the depth was 2.43 meters of this great bath. It has corridors all around on the dressing rooms and steps on the both northern and southern sides that led to the bathing tank. There was also a provision to drain out water of this tank into a huge drain. It was used for some kind of special ritual bath. Now we come to know that you see how nowadays swimming pools are clean. They have a facility to drain out the old water and then fill the new water into it. You see, 4,500 years ago they had the same facility. This is remarkable, isn't it? So we have talked so much about the great bath. Other than that, they also constructed, can you see the rooms over here? These were the dressing areas, the dressing rooms. When people used to get the bath, especially women, after coming out, they used to easily go and change their clothes over here in these dressing rooms. So such a beautiful concept they had during that time. So this is most talked about. This is also one of the most talked about feature of the oldest civilization of India.